What if every glacier on Earth suddenly melted? How high would the oceans rise? Which cities would disappear forever? Could entire countries vanish beneath the sea? And perhaps the strangest question of all, has Earth already experienced an ice-free world before? To answer these questions, we need to understand something surprising. Most of the fresh water on our planet is frozen, and if all of it melted, the world map would never look the same again. When most people think about ice, they imagine ice cubes, snowy mountains, or winter weather. But Earth's ice reserves are far more massive. Today, nearly 10% of Earth's land surface is covered by ice. Most of it is concentrated in only two places, Antarctica and Greenland together. These frozen regions store almost all of the freshwater ice on Earth. Antarctica alone contains around 90% of Earth's ice. Greenland contains most of the rest. The glaciers we see in places like Alaska, the Alps, and the Himalayas are enormous by human standards. But compared to Antarctica, they are tiny. If all of this ice melted, trillions of tons of water would flow into the oceans. And that is where our story begins. How high would the oceans rise? Scientists have estimated this question for decades. The answer is astonishing. If all land ice melted, global sea level would rise by approximately 70 meters. 70 meters may not sound dramatic at first, but imagine a building more than 20 stories tall. Now imagine the ocean rising to that height across the entire planet. This would completely redraw Earth's coastlines. Many of the world's most populated regions exist near sea level. Those regions would be transformed forever. Let's begin with coastal cities. New York, Miami, Shanghai, Tokyo, London, Bangkok, Jakarta, Amsterdam, Alexandria, Venice. All would face catastrophic flooding. Some districts would disappear completely. Others would require enormous seawalls simply to survive. In many cases, protecting entire metropolitan regions would become economically impossible. Hundreds of millions of people would be forced to relocate. This would likely become the largest migration event in human history. Some countries would suffer even more. The Maldives sit only a few meters above sea level. Much of the nation could disappear beneath the ocean. Large portions of Bangladesh would also be submerged. Millions of people would lose homes, farmland, and infrastructure. Small island nations across the Pacific would face similar threats. Entire cultures could lose the land they have inhabited for centuries. What would happen to the United States? The eastern coastline would change dramatically. Florida would be among the hardest hit regions. Much of the state lies only a few meters above sea level. Large sections could disappear beneath the ocean. The Gulf Coast would move inland. Parts of Louisiana would vanish. Many major ports would become unusable. The economic consequences would be enormous. Europe would also change dramatically. The Netherlands faces a unique challenge. Much of the country already lies at or below sea level. Modern engineering currently protects it. But a 70-meter sea level rise would overwhelm existing defenses. Large parts of Denmark would flood. Coastal Germany would retreat inland. Many historic cities would need relocation or abandonment. Would the oceans become less salty? Surprisingly, yes. Massive amounts of fresh water entering the oceans would reduce salinity in some regions. This might sound insignificant, but ocean salinity helps drive major ocean currents. Changes in salinity could disrupt circulation systems that regulate global climate. One of the most important systems is the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. This ocean current transports heat around the planet. Fresh water from melting ice could weaken this circulation. If that happened, weather patterns might change dramatically. Some regions could become colder, others hotter. Rainfall patterns might shift across continents. Glaciers do more than store water. They reflect sunlight back into space. Scientists call this the albedo effect. Bright ice acts like a giant mirror. When ice disappears, darker surfaces become exposed. Land and oceans absorb more heat. This creates a feedback loop. More warming causes more melting. More melting causes even more warming. The cycle accelerates. Many people imagine Antarctica as permanently frozen. But Earth's history tells a different story. Millions of years ago, Antarctica supported forests. Scientists have discovered fossilized trees, pollen and plant remains beneath the ice. Some ancient forests grew during periods when global temperatures were much warmer. This means an ice-free Antarctica is not impossible. It has happened before. During much of the dinosaur era, Earth looked very different. There were little or no permanent polar ice caps. Sea levels were much higher. Warm climates extended much farther toward the poles. Tropical ecosystems existed in regions that are frozen today. This demonstrates how dramatically Earth's climate can change over geological time. What happens to animals? Many species depend directly on ice. Polar bears rely on Arctic sea ice for hunting. Penguins depend on Antarctic ecosystems. Countless organisms are adapted to cold environments. Rapid ice loss would threaten many species. Some could adapt, others might disappear. Entire ecosystems would be forced to reorganize. Could humans survive? The answer is yes. Humanity would survive, but civilization would change dramatically. Cities would relocate, infrastructure would be rebuilt, agriculture would shift to new regions. The economic cost would be almost unimaginable. The challenge would not be extinction. The challenge would be adaptation. Could melting ice change Earth's rotation? Surprisingly, yes. Ice represents enormous mass. When that mass moves into the oceans, Earth's weight distribution changes. Scientists have already measured tiny shifts in Earth's rotational behavior due to ice loss. The effect is small, but it is real. Even the position of Earth's poles can shift slightly. One important fact often gets overlooked. All ice would not melt overnight, even under extreme warming scenarios. Complete melting would require thousands of years. This is not a disaster that would happen tomorrow, but studying it helps scientists understand Earth's climate system and long-term future. So what if all ice melted? The oceans would rise by around 70 meters. Coastlines would be redrawn, major cities would disappear. Entire nations could be submerged. Ocean currents would change, climate patterns would shift, ecosystems would transform, and humanity would be forced to adapt to a completely new version of Earth. Yet perhaps the most fascinating realization is this: an ice-free world is not science fiction. It is a world that has already existed in Earth's distant past, and understanding that past may help us understand the future of our planet.